Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
If men possessed wisdom, they would not cause any injury to themselves or to others. For the knowledge of truth removes hatred and quarrels and prevents mutual injuries. Please continue watching for the wisdom of medieval Jewish philosopher and rabbi Moses Maimonides, vegetarian.
Enchanté, meaning nice to meet you, is how the residents of Canada love to show their friendliness in French, one of the official languages of the country. Cherished viewers, I'm Nathan. The charismatic Canadian people praise the heavens for your considerate actions to liberate beings through your peaceful vegan lifestyle. May God's love and care be eternally yours. Welcome to God's Mercy and Truth is in Everything, from the Guide for the Perplexed by Maimonides, vegetarian, part 1 of 2 on Words of Wisdom. Maimonides, also known as Harambam or Rabbi Moses ben Maimon, was a notable medieval Jewish philosopher, astronomer, physician, and intellectual figure. Born into a prominent family in Spain, Maimonides' path eventually led him to Morocco and Palestine until he finally settled down in Egypt, in Al-Fustat, near Cairo. Shortly after moving to Egypt, life-changing events urged him to start his practice as a physician. Having a background of medical studies, it was not long before Maimonides became renowned in the area and became the personal physician to the Sultan Saladin, a famous Muslim military leader. His schedule also included tending to other patients, lecturing before fellow physicians, and, after becoming a leader of the Jewish community, teaching and helping its members. Famous works by Maimonides include Mishneh Torah, a commentary on the Talmud, and The Guide for the Perplexed, philosophical discussions regarding theological matters. A revered pillar of the Jewish world, Rabbi Moses ben Maimon also had a significant influence on some great medieval writers and thinkers, such as Baruch Spinoza and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, as well as an important impact on the medical science archives. Today, we will share the Rabbi Moses ben Maimon's insightful guidance on the spiritual challenges one may face. The Guide for the Perplexed is a book of theology that holds logical explanations on a variety of topics. We will now read excerpts from Part 3, Chapters 11 and 12. Part 3, Chapter 11. All the great evils which men cause to each other because of certain intentions, desires, opinions, or religious principles are likewise due to non-existence, because they originate in ignorance, which is absence of wisdom. A blind man, for example, who has no guide, stumbles constantly because he cannot see, and causes injury and harm to himself and others. In the same manner, various classes of men, each man in proportion to his ignorance, bring great evils upon themselves and upon other individual members of the species. If men possessed wisdom, which stands in the same relation to the form of man as the sight to the eye, they would not cause any injury to themselves or to others. For the knowledge of truth removes hatred and quarrels and prevents mutual injuries. This state of society is promised to us by the prophet in the words, "And the wolf shall dwell with the lamb," etc., "And the cow and the bear shall feed together," etc., "And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp," etc. The prophet also points out what will be the cause of this change, for he says that hatred, quarrel, and fighting will come to an end, because men will then have a true knowledge of God. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. Note it.
Part 3, Chapter 12.
Men frequently think that the evils in the world are more numerous than the good things. Many sayings and songs of the nations dwell on this idea. They say that a good thing is found only exceptionally, whilst evil things are numerous and lasting. Not only common people make this mistake, but even many who believe that they are wise. For if the happiness of man and his pleasure in the times of prosperity be compared with the mishaps that befall him, such as grief, acute pain, defects, paralysis of the limbs, fears, anxieties, and troubles, it would seem as if the existence of man is a punishment and a great evil for him. For an ignorant man believes that the whole universe only exists for him, as if nothing else required any consideration. If, therefore, anything happens to him contrary to his expectation, he at once concludes that the whole universe is evil. If, however, he would take into consideration the whole universe, form an idea of it, and comprehend what a small portion he is of the universe, he will find the truth. For it is clear that persons who have fallen into this widespread error as regards the multitude of evils in the world do not find the evils among the angels, the spheres and stars, the elements, and that which is formed of them, namely minerals and plants, or in the various species of living beings, but only in some individual instances of mankind. What we have, in truth, to consider is this: the whole of mankind at present in existence, and every other species of animals, form an infinitesimal portion of the permanent universe. Man is like to vanity. How much less man that is a worm, and the Son of Man, which is a worm, how much less in them who dwell in houses of clay? Behold, the nations are as a drop of the bucket. There are many other passages in the books of the prophets expressing the same idea.
It is of great advantage that man should know his station, and not erroneously imagine that the whole universe exists only for him.
We hold that the universe exists because the Creator wills it so. That mankind is low in rank as compared with the uppermost portion of the universe, namely with the spheres and the stars. But as regards the angels, there cannot be any real comparison between man and angels, although man is the highest of all beings on earth, that is, of all beings formed of the four elements. Man's existence is nevertheless a great boon to him, and his distinction and perfection is a divine gift. The numerous evils to which individual persons are exposed are due to the defects existing in the persons themselves. We complain and seek relief from our own faults. We suffer from the evils which we, by our own free will, inflict on ourselves and ascribe them to God, who is far from being connected with them. Is destruction his work? No. Ye who call yourselves wrongly his sons. This is explained by Solomon, who says, "The foolishness of man perverteth his way, and his heart fretteth against the Lord." I explain this theory in the following manner. The evils that befall man are of three kinds. The first kind of evil is that which is caused to man by the circumstance that he is subject to genesis and destruction, or that he possesses a body. It is on account of the body that some persons happen to have great deformities or paralysis of some of the organs. This evil may be part of the natural constitution of these persons, or may have developed subsequently in consequence of changes in the elements, for example, through bad air or thunderstorms or landslips. The true kindness and beneficence and goodness of God is clear. He who thinks that he can have flesh and bones without being subject to any external influence, or any of the accidents of matter, unconsciously wishes to reconcile two opposites. namely, to be at the same time subject and not subject to change. If man were never subject to change, there could be no generation. There would be one single being, but no individuals forming a species. Galen, in the third section of his book, The Use of the Limbs, says correctly that it would be in vain to expect to see living beings who will not die, will never feel pain, or will move perpetually, or will shine like the sun. This dictum, statement of Galen, is part of the following more general proposition. Whatever is formed of any matter receives the most perfect form possible in that species of matter. In each individual case, the defects are in accordance with the defects of that individual matter. The best and most perfect being that can be formed is the species of man. For as far as man's nature is known, he is living, reasonable, and mortal. The second class of evils comprises such evils as people cause to each other, when, for example, some of them use their strength against others. These evils are more numerous than those of the first kind. Their causes are numerous and known. They likewise originate in ourselves, though the sufferer himself cannot avert them. Many persons are afflicted with this kind of evil in wars, but these are not frequent, if the whole inhabited part of the earth is taken into consideration. The third class of evils comprises those which everyone causes to himself by his own action. This is the largest class and is far more numerous than the second class. It is especially of these evils that all men complain. Only few men are found that do not sin against themselves by this kind of evil. Those that are afflicted with it are therefore justly blamed in the words of the prophet. This hath been by your means. The same is expressed in the following passage. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. Benevolent viewers, we appreciate your kind presence for today's Words of Wisdom. Please join us again tomorrow for the second part of God's Mercy and Truth is in Everything, from the Guide for the Perplexed by Maimonides, vegetarian. Coming up next is Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, on the harmful effects of meat, Part 19, Against Universal Religious Tenets, right after noteworthy news. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for more constructive programming. May undeniable courage and love for the truth guide you throughout your lives. In God's mercy.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Τα προγράμματά μας προσφέρουν πολλές γλώσσες. Παρακαλούμε δείτε suprememastertv.com/schedule και suprememastertv.com/WOW.